Hello and welcome to the United Stand or Skype Goldbridge or whatever you want to call it. How's your Monday been? We're live. It's 8:30 and I hope you've had a good day. I've had a very busy day, which is why I'm still in my suit from work. But I am slightly late for those who are watching live. Apologies. Life goes on. I'm 2 minutes late. Do not have a cow, man. Get liking, get sharing, get involved. We've got loads to talk about tonight, and you will have lots to talk about as well because it is the Skype Goldbridge show. But as per usual, I'm going to feed a few topics that you might be interested in, bring you all up to date with what's going on. Alvaro Morata, let me start with him. His agent has said that there's been a favourable offer from a club that looks like he'll be moving, and it's just for the club and the player and both clubs to sort out the deal. So that club will be Manchester United. That deal will be between Real Madrid and Manchester United, and I would expect it to be done any time this week. Lots of things going on, conflicting reports all over the place at the moment, but the best person to talk about that in relation to is Fabinho. Fabinho obviously did a video on him yesterday morning. He's starting to get mentioned more and more and more. Bit of a panic this afternoon when a reporter from the Daily Mail, I heard somebody call him, he's about as successful as Indy Kalia, if anyone's ever heard of him. But he said that these rumours about, I've spoken to somebody, and these rumours about Fabinho are not true. The club aren't involved in him. About 2 minutes later, or 2 minutes before, somebody else who's quite credible on Twitter had said that United are in for Fabinho. It's Morata or Belotti, and there's an issue with Rooney and trying to get rid of him. But I would say in relation to Fabinho, he is the most important signing Manchester United can make this summer, because that position of centre defensive midfield is so important to us. And you look at the problems we had last season, I think that position was where we were let down a lot. I mean, Carrick did okay for a while, Herrera did well, for Fellaini, whatever. But we do need to get somebody in for that position who can just make it their own, a total specialist, somebody who's quick, tenacious, good on the ball, and we'll be a lot better off for that. So in relation to Fabinho, I'd just say, look, fasten your seatbelts on this and don't wish it to happen. Well, wish it to happen, but don't expect it to happen anytime soon, because it could be a couple of weeks away. Apparently he's going to be on holiday for a couple more weeks on his honeymoon, obviously having a banging time, and he may not be back for a couple of weeks. Doesn't mean the deal can't be announced, but how are we going to get close to him when he's on holiday? It might take a couple of weeks, but the general consensus is that he'll either stay at Monaco, or if he does leave Monaco, Manchester United is the club that he wants to come to, and it would be around 50 million euros, which is 40 million pounds. So keep an eye on that. There's a lot who do you think is going to be the next Manchester United signing? Because you've got Fabinho, you've got Morata, you've got Perisic, you've got maybe Belotti. It's one of those four probably, but you never know. There might be a left field signing. But look, I hope we do get Fabinho. I think we have sort of fallen into that trap now that if we don't get him, there will be some disappointment. But let's see what happens about that. I'm hoping that we'll sign him. And Adnan Januzaj apparently going to Real Sociedad for €10 million. I'd let him go for 5. I'm not a big fan of his at all. I think he had a good season under Moyes. He then regressed. As a young player, you've got to grab the opportunity every season and develop. And he's stagnated over the last 3. He was given chances under Van Gaal. In both Van Gaal's seasons, he played in 4 games in a row in the first team in the Premier League, and he did very, very little apart from a scrappy goal against Aston Villa away. He went to Dortmund, he got sent back. He spent the season at Sunderland last season and didn't really do a hell of a lot. I mean, Pereira got relegated in a poor side in La Liga and still was one of the best players in that league. In fact, if you like your stats, he was in the top 5 in the whole of La Liga for take-ons in La Liga. Pereira, in a relegated side, he had more take-ons than most of La Liga, and considering the players that play in the Liga like Neymar and Messi and Ronaldo and Bale and all the other great talents in that La Liga, and he came 5th in a relegated side. Fantastic talent, Pereira. Januzaj did sod all at Sunderland, really. Get rid of him, does not deserve a chance. And even if he was an average player, that's not the sort of player we want at United. Interestingly enough, I must also mention, take a note, because you might want to talk about this and more, but take a note on this. Apparently, Chris Smalling will be the midfielder who is sold by Manchester United. This was in the Times. Phil Jones, Daily Blind, will be kept. What are your thoughts on that? I've always been a Chris Smalling fan. I mean, I'm not crying about it, because I don't think he was that great last season, but I still think he's our best centre-back in the air. I thought he played very well in the Europa League when we needed him, and as I said about Phil Jones, he could be the best centre-back in the world, and I'd still sell him because he can't play more than a couple of games before he gets injured. I don't know why we're keeping him. I know Mourinho likes him, but it's a bit like Mourinho liking Fellaini. It's like fan opinion doesn't really matter. We've been at the club for a lot longer than Mourinho. We know what Fellaini's not going to wake up one day and be Messi. He's still going to be Fellaini. He's still going to make mistakes. And Phil Jones is always going to get injured. So I don't really see why we're keeping Phil Jones. I suppose Chris Smalling, we might get a good price for him. And if he's surplus to requirements, he's surplus to requirements. I don't have a problem with us selling Smalling. I just want us to get rid of Phil Jones, to be honest. But doesn't look like it's going to happen. Anyway, before I start taking your calls, because it is Skype Goldbridge, and I'm slightly nervous about Skype Goldbridge tonight because I've updated it. It's the Windows 10 version, and it's all new, and I'm just concerned that it's not going to work the way it should do. But we obviously have got a little link up with the One Football app, who I've done the feedback from yesterday. They got it wrong. It's meant to be Lindelof from Benfica, and it started trending about Victor Carrasco that we'd signed him. But that was the One Football app. But it is a very, very good app. We covered it on, was it Thursday night we did it? Thursday night we did it, but very good. I'm going to use it more in relation to transfer shows. But everybody said, can you please do the Fellaini stats? So I said, when we get a show to do it, I will do it. So I'm going to do it for you now, and then we'll crack on with what everybody wants to talk about, because I know you've got your preferences and things like that. But let's get this up and running. So, what do we got? We put my phone in, do that. So we've got Marion Fellaini on the One Football app. And let me move that across so we've got him more central. So, Marion Fellaini, plays for Manchester United, obviously. Let's click on to Manchester United. No, I've done it wrong. My Manchester United news, Angel Di Maria creates another obstacle in Manchester United's pursuit of Ivan Perisic. I don't know what that's about. I mean, it's Metro. Let's have a quick look. That's new news. The great thing about the One Football app as well is it will send you notifications of United news. So this is from 8:30 tonight. It's in the Metro. Manchester United's hope of landing Ivan Perisic have taken a knock after PSG joined the race to sign the Croatian winger. According to reports, PSG are preparing to lose both former United flop Di Maria and Lucas Moura, who is wanted as a replacement for Perisic by Inter. So that's interesting. And according to, this is from Dimarzio, according to the ever-reliable Dimarzio, PSG begin drawing up a short list of potential wingers who could replace their pair, and somewhat ironically, they've landed on Perisic as their preferred option. So that's new. Perisic maybe off to PSG. But that's not where I wanted to go. But I'm promoting the app quite well anyway. You can download this app for free. It's in our video description. It's available on Android. It's available on whatever the other one is. I'm on Samsung Android, so that's what I like. But yes, let me have a look at his stats for Fellaini then. So it's 29, as we know. It'll be 30. 30 in November. Get rid of him. And obviously we know we don't really give a damn about that. But I want to have a look at his season, because this is what people were interested in. So that's his Europa League season. I'm not interested in that. We're not in the Europa League next year. I want to have a look at his Premier League stats. 1 goal in the Premier League last season. I thought he would have had more than that. But an 86% pass accuracy. My Lord. What's going on there? 86%. Tackles, 56. Tackles. Let me move this over for you. This is my fault, because I've got the screen is slightly small. Can I make it smaller? Yes, I can. Let me do that for you like that. My apologies, it's live. So tackles won, 73% of tackles. Duels won, 59%. Pass accuracy, 86%. Unbelievable. Shot accuracy, 39%. That's about right. Yellow cards, 9. Fouls conceded. So there's your Fellaini, Marion Fellaini for you. I'm just a little bit intrigued by... let me click back on Fellaini. Manchester United. We've got Di Maria. And obviously, we've got the Fabinho thing. And I've just covered that one, haven't I? Journo claims that Manchester United aren't interested in signing brilliant midfielder. But I think that we are. Anyway, download the One Football app. It's a link in the video description. It's very good for your stats, and it's very good for your news as well. When you sign up for them, you can allocate yourself to Manchester United, and you'll get notified of stuff on there. But it is a very good app, and it's nice for us to be able to link in with an app instead of doing the bet stuff, which I know a lot of you do not like. So link in the video description. Get yourself signed up for that. It's really good. I'm going to start taking some of your calls on Skype. I'm very nervous about this because it's been a bit temperamental, but let's see how it goes. So Skype Goldbridge is the word, and let's see if we are going to get any calls. Well, Skype is open and it's Skype Goldbridge. Are people actually trying to call? This is weird. This is really weird tonight. I do not like this on Skype. I've got. Let me. Oh, I know it is working. It is working. Okay, I can see what's happening now. Let me try that. Hello, Jason. Can you hear me? Whoa! You've got to keep calling everybody because it's just hanging up the calls, which is really weird. And I don't really know why this is happening. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I've got a great idea. Everybody who's calling, I'm going to try and just call somebody. Jason, can you hear me?
How you doing, mate? You right?
I'm very good, thanks.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Are you fine?
Good. What was it you wanted to talk about?
Obviously, I'm sure you've heard this 100,000 times, but congratulations to United Stand hitting the 100,000 subscribers. Must be fantastic. Hard work does pay off.
It does.
Yeah, just going to the 5 predicted transfers. I've got very similar to you with Morata, Douglas Costa instead of Perisic, Fabinho, Lindelof, and a mystery player. However, I don't think, unless we buy Hernandez on the cheap, that we're actually going to get two strikers. So therefore, it's a Morata or an unknown for me, as I don't think we'll be getting Belletti even as much as it excites me. I think jumping from an Italian striker, jumping straight to the Prem, usually they go to a top Serie A side first before making the jump across to English football. So it's either going to be them or like someone like Aubameyang or Mbappe.
I'm going to have to end the call, Jason, because I'm getting a load of stuff in the background, then I'll try and call you back. Okay.
All right, wait.
This is bloody Skype for you. It's doing my head in. All I can hear is people trying to call in the background, so it's off. It's off. I'm not messing around with that. It's so annoying, and I can hear people getting annoyed with it as well. But a lot of people are saying we'll turn the noise off at the end. This is the new Skype download for Windows 10. I can't find switch off the sound on there, and I've been having a look at it before I went live. That was one of the reasons I couldn't get changed out my work clothes, and it's one of the reasons I was a couple of minutes late because I can't see where you mute it. I've logged into it numerous times, and I can't see where I mute it, which is really, really frustrating on a Skype show. It automatically updated just before I came on air, and every bloody call I take, it's noisy. Wait a minute, what's going on here? We might be back in business. Let's have a look. It might be loading up the old Skype, which would be fantastic if that's the case, because it means I can take calls again. It's messing around again now. A lot of people asking about Morata while we're doing that. What we could do is move to Snapchat. It's a very, very good idea. I'm hoping that Skype will start working, but let's just see what happens. Somebody try and Skype me. Yeah, I've got Skype calls coming in now. So Skype Goldbridge is the name. Yeah, you're all calling. That's great. We're up and laughing again. Well, he says we are. Let's try and take a call and see if it does. Mark, can you hear me? Hello, Mark. We're not lagging, are we? No, that's okay. Mark, can you hear me? No, you can't. Okay, let me try somebody else. Nothing like live TV. But yeah, on Morata, there's nothing to report other than his agent said that he's interested in signing for Manchester United, and they're sorting a deal out between the two at the moment. Let me try. I'm getting very fed up with Skype, to be honest. Hello, Ricardo, can you hear me? Well, I could hear him then. Hello, can you hear me?
Hello?
Hello, yeah, you're live. Can you hear me?
Hello, Mark.
Yes, can you hear me? I can hear him. Fucking hell. I said book, not anything else. Can people just stop Skyping for the moment, please? I know you want to Skype, but I can't take a call at the moment. So please stop Skyping. You are spamming my whole screen, and I cannot get to the audio settings because they are just appearing over the top. So everybody stop Skyping right now, and then I can go into the audio settings, have a look whether it's my audio settings, then we can start again. But it's like, I've got like 50 Skype callers at the moment. So if you're watching, stop Skyping because it's filling up my screen. Stop Skyping, please, and then I can check the audio settings, and then we can open up Skype again. But I cannot get to my settings at the moment because everybody's just Skyping. Right, now you've stopped. Well done, thank you. Let me have a look at these settings here because I want to do a Skype show, but it's just audio settings. Here we go. Right. Don't Skype, please. Okay. Well, my settings were all right, so that might have just been Ricardo. So let's try Sam and see if we can get him. Sam, can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me, Sam? Hello?
Hello?
Hello, can you hear me? No. Clearly, there is now something wrong with my audio on Skype, which is bloody fantastic because it was working before. Right, we're wasting time, and I'm not willing to waste time, but waste people's time when we're live. It's a bloody joke, to be honest. So Skype's closed. We're going to go to Snapchat. It's very easy to solve. Snapchat is United Stand MUFC. Get onto Snapchat. I'm not messing around with Skype anymore. I'm ready to walk away from Skype, to be honest. It's the third show in a row where it's been absolute nonsense. It's lagged. Now it's messing with my audio settings. It updated. Bloody annoying. So I'm going to start doing... I'm glad that it's entertaining for everybody else. Morton, I am not getting salty. I am live doing a show and trying to sort things out. And yes, it is annoying. But I'll tell you what, shall I stop doing live? Do you want me to stop doing live and I'll do nice little pre-records where I sit in front of a green screen for 5 minutes and read out the metro like some channels do? Or do you want live where we're trying to get you involved? I'm getting stressed. Yes, I'm getting stressed because I'm passionate about getting you lot on, and it annoys me when I can't do it because technology lets us down. So, United Stand MUFC on Snapchat. If you can get on Snapchat, send us some stuff. Let's start getting your opinions. Craig McCullough Games has made a contribution. He says, I have seen PSG have pulled out the race for Aubameyang. I reckon that could be the surprise signing if it was going to happen. I don't know. I don't know whether it is. I am going to do Snapchat, everybody. Snapchat's open now, so let's crack on with it. I know people are worried about that, but I won't be showing the screen, so we'll do your audio. Ding 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 ding. Right, let's get some Snapchats. Got lots of people sending messages, but are you going to send me videos or not? Okay, Lewis Munden.
I want to go back to the days where a threat from set pieces, getting two players that are good in the box and will score goals. That's what I want.
So Lewis wants us to get back to the days where we've got good people in the box who can get on crosses. I think it's a very good point. Morten Isaacson Framnes says, Oi Mark, have people forgotten that Mr. Mike Smalling was our player of the year a couple of seasons ago? Greetings from Norway, and thanks for the contribution, Morten. I agree. Sam Meekin says, how do you donate? You can only donate if you can see the $ at the bottom of the live comments. But if you do donate, make sure you leave us a comment so we can give you a shout out. We've got Sammy here. I didn't hear what he said. It was probably something naughty. Mikey JH.
I think that if we get everyone projected, Fabinho, Perisic, Morata, and a few others, even if we do get a Galactico, we'll have a great summer.
Yeah, he's on about Fabinho and Perisic and how it'd be a great summer if we get a Galactico as well, which I still think will either be Mbappe or Bale. Josh, Ted?
Who do you think most likely we're going to sign?
Who do I think most likely we're going to sign? Well, who do you lot think is going to sign? I think Morata's going to sign. I think that, obviously we know Lindelof's going to sign. I think Perisic has suddenly taken on an interesting one now. Note, I've never said Perisic is a done deal, like some people are. We've been negotiating with Perisic for two... to be honest with you, I know there are fans out there. Some of you will be on the live comments who hope we don't get Perisic, but I hope we do, because I think he's very experienced, he's quick, he's skillful, he's hard-working, he's tall, and Mourinho wants him, and I trust Mourinho. So I hope we do get him, because it's obviously the player that Mourinho wants. And it's a bit selfish, I suppose, to say, well, I don't want Perisic because I don't think he's good enough. Well, Mourinho does. So whoever we get would be second choice to what Mourinho wants. So I would say Morata and Lindelof are obviously going to be definite. I think one of the things I hope somebody is going to start talking about tonight is, will it be Fabinho? Will we get Morata and Belotti? Our latest information is that it's one or the other. I personally would like us to be getting both. I don't think Rashford, Morata and Martial is enough. I think we need another striker, and I'd like it to be Belotti, and I certainly don't want it to be Rooney. But what is the Snapchat name? It's United Stand MUFC, all one word. It's the same as our Twitter. It's just not at United Stand MUFC. It's United Stand MUFC on Twitter. Luke Sipes. Mark, would you want Morata or Belotti? Well, Luke, that's a good question. Leading on from what I've said, we're in sync there. I would say that I would like... a couple of weeks ago I said I would like Belotti. I like Belotti from what I've seen of him. I've seen a few games of his last year. He does remind me of a younger Gianluca Vialli, and I think he's a good player, and I'm not one of those who thinks he's a one-season wonder. I think he's the real deal. But I would have gone Belotti. Not massively behind in Morata, but I'll be honest with you, over the last few days, I've probably put Morata ahead of Belotti because, and the one reason is really because Mourinho wants Morata, and that's made me feel more excited about Morata because Mourinho wants him. And I think with Morata, as I said last night, you're getting an experienced striker who's only 24, but he's done a hell of a lot in that time. He's played for Juventus, has been successful, played with Pogba there. That's going to be a big advantage. He's been managed by Mourinho at Real Madrid, so he knows him. And he's been at Real Madrid, so he's got a lot of experience. And he's an international, so he's got a lot more experience than Belotti. Thoughts on Verratti, Mark, says Tusha Gupta, who's made a contribution. I think he's not a number 6 we need. He's a good number 8, but we don't need that. I don't think Verratti will come anywhere near Manchester United, if I'm honest. I've said that before. I don't think he will. I can see him going to somebody like Barcelona, but he's a good player. And Lorenzo van Matterhorn has said, thoughts on moving Martial up front and expand that, please. Well, thanks for the contribution, Lorenzo. I think Anthony Martial wants to stay up front, go up front. I personally think he's our best left winger at the moment until we sign Perisic. I think Martial being able to play up front and being able to play on the wing, Martial's just got to get his head down this season, work really hard. It's a big season for him. It's a bit like Memphis last year. This is a big season, and a lot of us are thinking it's going to work out like we did with Memphis, and it might not. But he's got to be given this season, and if it doesn't work out, it's time for him to move on. But I'm a big Martial fan, but I saw a very good tweet earlier because he's tweeted out, or he's put something on Instagram about his ex-wife. That's got to stop. That's got to stop. He's got a kid with his ex-partner, and he's obviously very devoted to that, and he's got a new girlfriend now. But he's got to stop these arguments between this ex and him, and focus on Manchester United. Stop letting that stuff get into your head. Focus on Manchester United. Sarah's on about OneFootball. Okay, let's take some more. We've got Ryan Kavanagh. Let's see what he says. Who would you give? Would you give Di Maria another chance? Not in a million years. He's a snake, and I don't want him at United. He had a chance at Manchester United, and he didn't take it. And I don't think he ever really wanted to be at United. Let's try Andy Jackson.
Hi, Mark. Just quickly wondering, what are your opinions on us potentially signing Raja Nainggolan from Roma?
Roma, Raja, Nainggolan. I can never say his name. I'm glad you mentioned that one. Because lots of talk about Fabinho, and will Fabinho definitely happen? And nobody can say Fabinho's definitely going to happen to Manchester United. That would be nonsense. I think there's a good chance of it happening, and the reason I think there's a good chance of happening it, and I'm coming back to Nainggolan here, is because the most relevant thing about Fabinho was not being in the last week where people have been saying we're in for him. The most relevant thing for Fabinho was 6 weeks ago at the start of May when Di Marzio tweeted out and said Manchester United's priority was Raja Nainggolan from Roma, but he wants to stay in Roma, so their next priority is Fabinho. This was 6 weeks ago. So that is the only source I'm listening to at the moment, and that is the only that is the only real reason I think Fabinho is going to happen. People can start tweeting out off their M United source and whatever crap there is out there, and listen to us because we always get it right and everything like that. And to be honest, that is where that I will tell you where I get the information from. Like last week, it was from Robin about Lindelof, and he was spot on. But he's not mentioned Fabinho. The only reason I think we're in for Fabinho is because of Di Marzio, and that brings me back to Raji Nainggolan. I think United would like to sign him, but the indication is that he wants to stay in Rome. So I don't think we will. But he's a good. I personally think the centre defensive midfielder we will sign will be Nainggolan, Fabinho, or Matuidi. I think it'll be one of those three, of which I would be happy with any of them. And I still would probably rather have Fabinho because he's younger, and I think Mourinho will get more and more out of him. But I'll tell you what, I'm enjoying the Snapchats tonight, he says, worryingly. Master Chartsy. Oh no. I know it's off topic, but what do you think of the England under-20s winning the World Cup? Well done, didn't watch it, and I doubt we'll ever see any of them anywhere near the top level of Premier League football. I remember a long time ago when I was at secondary school, so you can figure out how long ago this was for you, but England they were under something, they might have been under 18s. They won a tournament with people like, Darren Caskey played for them, who went on to play for Spurs, and everyone was like, oh yeah, England are going to win the World Cup in 6 years' time when these lads come through. I think Nick Barmby might have been part of it, but very few of them ever came through, and that was at a time, it must be over 20 years ago. And that was at a time when there hadn't been the influx of Premier League foreign players and money, so they've got no chance, to be honest. Jamie Saunders.
Whoa, live stream.
It's just a picture of me doing a live stream. Alex L. No, I've hit somebody else. They are whizzing in, so let me be careful. Alex L.
Hey Mark, I was just wondering, what's all this about the Bale and Morata thing? Just on the basis of Morata wants Bale to come with him. What's your opinion on it?
Oh, it's a lovely question, that is, from the lad. And what's my opinion on Bale and Morata? Well, it's Bale, it's Morata and Rodriguez. It's Bale and Morata. What I would say is, from Robin a few weeks ago, who told me about the Lindelof thing, he said there is an appetite from Woodward to bring Bale to Manchester United, and Bale is not opposed to coming to Manchester United, but Mourinho isn't sure on him, and Real Madrid aren't sure on whether they want to sell him, because it depends whether they can get Mbappe and Hazard. So that's the sort of story. I think if we're going to get a Galactico, it's probably going to be Bale or Mbappe, of which both would be, both of them would be good. Either would suit me fine, but I think, as I said to you at the weekend, everybody at the moment thinks we're just going to sign Perisic, Lindelof, Fabinho, Morata and Belotti, and we won't. We won't sign that 5. We won't. That won't happen. We might get 2 or 3 of them, but we won't sign all 5. There will be a couple of signings, I think, that nobody's even talking about at the moment, and I can't tell you who they're going to be. Maybe it will be Bale. Maybe it will be Mbappe. Maybe it'll be Neymar. Maybe it will be Michael Keane. I don't know, but we will. I'm sure we will see. Remember to get liking and sharing the video. We've got nearly 4,000 people watching, so that's great. Nathan Woody.
Hey Mark, who do you think our left back will be next season, and who would you have?
Nathan Woody saying, who would be your left back next season, and who do I think it will be? Remember on your snaps to give us your opinion as well, for whatever the question is. I would say that it is I forgot to mention that when I said that Chris Smalling is looking like the one who's going to be sold. That Luke Shaw will be given a chance this summer, which is great, but Luke Shaw is a bit injury prone. Luke Shaw would be my ideal left back for Manchester United for many reasons. I still think he's the best English left back when he gets into form, and I don't think we've seen him get into form since his bad leg break, and it's whether he can. Some people get injured and it takes a couple of years to get back to fitness. Aaron Ramsey had a bad leg break and it took him time. Valencia had it was like more of a shin break and it took him time. Next season's huge for Luke Shaw because some people have a bad injury and they're always injured for the rest of their season. So this is the big season for Luke Shaw. I think he can be our left back for many years to come. But on the other hand, it might not happen because of injury. Will Mourinho go to next season with Blind, Luke Shaw and Darmian as his left backs, or will he go into the transfer market and sort of have 2 good left backs and say, look, it's yours or Shaw's? I think he likes Mendy, but Mendy would be 40 million, and 40 million is a lot to spend on somebody that may have to battle it out with Luke Shaw. Ideally, somebody somebody of sort of Leighton Baines, who I know he's coming towards the end of his career, but that sort of signing would make sense. Somebody who's coming towards the end of their career might be happy to share the role in a big club. Or he might just go with Daley Blind and Luke Shaw. I do like Daley Blind at left back, but Rojo at left back, says Craig Spires. Not in a million years. Not in a million years. Yeah. Let's have a look at some more Snapchats. Well, this is an impromptu Snapchat thing. Remember, you can follow us on Snapchat at United Stand MUFC, and I certainly want us to do more of these because I do like it. But it's meant to be Skype Goldbridge, so we may do Skype Goldbridge tomorrow night when I can figure out what the hell is going wrong with it. It's very annoying. Christian. He's got the same haircut as me. Leon?
Mark, I just wanted your comment on this. A couple of weeks ago, Morata said he would go where Rodriguez went. What do you think about this? Mark.
Yes, I heard about that. That Morata had said that him and Rodriguez could be playing together next season. I think that was the exact quote. But obviously this was around the time of the Champions League final, and he may well have been thinking that he will be playing in that Champions League final next season. He may well have been thinking he might be at Real Madrid next year. Rodriguez is now linked with Chelsea. The one thing I would say about James Rodriguez, and I know a lot of you like him, is this. It's the fact that he is such an easy signing for Manchester United to make. He wants to come to Manchester United. He's been flirting with us for ages. The thing that went on, was it in May time when Sky Sports said that Manchester United are in for Rodriguez, and it was on Colombian radio? That was nothing to do with Manchester United. That was to do with Rodriguez sort of trying to get United interest. And I don't think Mourinho is, because he's got the same agent as Mourinho. And the thing about Rodriguez is, whether you like him as a player, which I do, he's absolutely huge, and I don't think we appreciate it in the UK. His global appeal is huge, especially in South America. So Manchester United would love to sign him because the marketing is just there on a plate, and he's an Adidas player. I think what it comes down to is that Mourinho just probably doesn't want him. But it doesn't mean it won't happen. I'd like us to sign him. I think he is he's a very, very good player, and he would offer us a lot. But I just do not think we are in for him. So we'll see. But I'd like to sign him, one with a left foot and all. Just looking. Let's try RJJ Jackson. Don't know what happened there. Max Forbes. If we don't sign Perisic, who would you like to sign? Well, one of them that PSG are looking to get rid of is Lucas Moura. Douglas Costa at Bayern Munich. I like him. Who else do I like? I quite like Martins, Sporting Lisbon. I do like him. I like Willian. I've always liked Willian at Chelsea. I do like him as well. So, yeah, there's lots of others out there. But I'd like Mourinho to get the player that he wants because I trust Mourinho. Sahil?
Hi, Mark. Just want to know, who do you think will take the number 7 jersey next season?
Sahil said, who do you think will take the number 7 shirt next season? We spoke about this on the show last night. I think Mkhitaryan's not a bad shout. I do think Mkhitaryan isn't a bad shout, to be honest. But it may well go. It may well go a bit. It may well be different. He may well give it to somebody like Rashford. Chris.
Yeah. Woo. Yeah.
Some people just make me laugh. Harry Prescott. Okay, we're clicking on the idiots. Connor.
Would love to have Icardi come as our new striker. Think he's such a good player. Plus, what are your thoughts on Rooney coming back 2 weeks early?
Good point. That was from Connor. He'd love Icardi to sign for United, as would I. I love Icardi, Inter Milan player. I think Icardi might. Does he play for Argentina or is he on holiday? I don't think he plays for Argentina because they're down, or they were down in Australia. What do you think about Rooney coming back 2 weeks early? I think, you've got to be fair about Wayne Rooney. I was speaking to somebody on Twitter last night who's a big Wayne Rooney fan, and through thick and thin, they really do back him, which is admirable. And I think you've got to try and get into Rooney's head here. Wayne Rooney's on £300,000 a week. Wayne Rooney's on the decline. Wayne Rooney was given a ridiculous contract by David Moyes, was it 3 years ago? He was getting a 5-year deal on £300,000 a week. Basically, a couple of months after, Sir Alex Ferguson, if he'd stayed, would have sold Rooney. Moyes comes in, gets rid of the backroom staff and puts Rooney, an out-of-form Rooney, on a massive contract that makes it impossible for United to get rid of. 3 years down the line, 3 years of decline, and Mourinho wants to get rid of Rooney for no other agenda than Rooney's just on the decline and not good enough anymore. And whether you want to judge him on Watford at the start of the season, numerous games in the middle of the season, towards the end of the season when he got himself back fit and you thought maybe he could just have one burst of good games and he couldn't, or whether you want to judge him on a testimonial where he got put in the pocket of a retired Jamie Carragher. I mean, it isn't great for Rooney, and I don't think coming back from training 2 weeks early is going to change that. I think the harsh reality with him, and it took me a while to think this, is he's on the decline and he won't get that back. He's not going to get that back. So from Mourinho's point of view, I think coming back 2 weeks early is fine, but you're not part of my plans because you're not going to get back to what you were 4 years ago. It's just not going to happen. But from Rooney's point, to be fair, you've got to empathise with it. He's got a contract that's got 2 years left on it at £300,000 a week. I'm sure he wants to play first team football, but to do that, he's going to have to take a pay cut. Maybe a 50% pay cut to go and do that, unless he goes to China, which he won't want to do. So from Rooney's position, you can sort of understand the desperation of, I'm going to get myself fit and prove them wrong at United because then I can stay at a very good club and get paid £300,000 a week. But I do suspect that from Mourinho's point of view, it'd be, well, I can't force you to go, but you're not part of my plans. So it's difficult for Rooney. Some people think United should just pay him off. They might have to. There might have to be a halfway house. But I think I think the decline has been so steep that if he was anywhere near as good as he was, I think Everton would want him. But I think the problem is everybody can see that he's probably not good enough, even for somebody like a mid-table Premier League club anymore. OVM Project says offer Rooney a mutual termination, which we might have to do it. And I know some United fans might be frustrated by the fact that we've got to pay to get rid of him, but don't get frustrated about Rooney. Don't get frustrated at Rooney about it. It's not his fault. It's Moyes' fault for giving him a silly contract. I've had a contribution from Ali. I don't think it's Ali. It's Ali. He says one player we should be looking at is Naby Keita from RB Leipzig. Watched him boss Ivory Coast, best squad in Africa for Guinea, 8 goals and 7 assists in Bundesliga for a CDM, not Ali. Well, he just clarified that as well. Well, thanks for the contribution, Ali. Naby Keita is a good player. We were talking about him a couple of months ago. Liverpool are in for him. He's not quite a CDM in my book. He's more of a box-to-box. But I was told by somebody who watches them week in, week out that actually he's not ready for the Premier League. So we'd have to wait and see. Right, let me have a look at these Snapchats. We've had another update on OneFootball about Morata as well. If anyone's got the OneFootball app and they want to let us know what it's all about or want to download it, because the link is in the video description. I've just had a notification on my screen, but I'm in Snapchat at the moment, so I don't want to knock out of that. But I'll keep you updated with that. Stefan, why aren't we in for Douglas Costa? Well, it's not a bad shout. Bayern Munich winner. He's around the same age as, I think he's a couple of years younger than Perisic. He's a good player, and I think he'd be a very good player for United. But Perisic seems to be Mourinho's first choice. Riggers 1990.
Mark, if you had to sign 3 players from the 90s to 2000 era from any club, who would you pick? Mine would be Puyol, Brazilian Ronaldo, and Seedorf. Congrats on 100k.
Puyol, Seedorf. If you could sign any 3 players from the 90s to the noughties era, what 3 players would you sign? So 1990 to the noughties, or the whole 20 years? I'll just answer it myself. So if we're going from 1990 to 2010, what 3 players would I sign? Well, I'm not orthodox, so I would go with we'd already have Roy Keane, wouldn't we? So Zidane. But then you've got Scholes. The midfield doesn't need any work. Batistuta, I always wanted him at United. He was absolutely full of goals. I'm just thinking of the 99 team, who I would add to that. So 3 players I'd add to the 1999 team. The midfield's flawless. So I'd have Batistuta with Zidane in behind him, Scholes and Keane midfield with Giggs and Beckham on the right, Zidane ahead of them, Batistuta up front, who was tall as well, and I'd probably get rid of Ronnie Johnson and get... I'm happy with Irwin and Neville and Schmeichel, so I'd get rid of Ronnie Johnson and I would get, as a centre-back to play with him, a bit left field, but I'd get Stefan Effenberg because he could play centre-back, but he was brilliant on the ball as well. So that's what I would go with. Vahan has looked at the One Football thing. I was just going to have a look at it myself. So I think it's what I discussed at the start. Morata's agent, yeah, we've covered that anyway. Morata's agent saying that it's between United and Madrid to sort it out. Could happen tomorrow, you know. Could happen tomorrow. We'll have to wait and see. Harry Gibbons.
We get Hernandez, and could he deserve the number 7 shirt as our most experienced new striker?
If we got Javier Hernandez, would you give him the number 7 shirt? I was speaking to Dave Amoyle, who is the sort of English journalist for Di Marzio, and Dave was saying today that it's Morata or Belotti for United, but that does, at the moment, that doesn't mean they won't get another striker. And I think we were sort of talking, and the interpretation was that if you get Morata, you've got Rashford, you've got Martial, United might still go for another striker, but it probably wouldn't be an £80 million striker like Belotti or Aubameyang. It probably would be someone like Javier Hernandez. And if Javier Hernandez is happy to come back to Manchester United, we'd get him for about £15 million. And he's got loads of goals in him. So I would welcome him back. It's United Stand MUFC on Snapchat. Please do drop a like on the video, if only for my own sanity. I had a bloody nightmare with Skype, and I'm apologetic to all of you, but I will get it sorted. I was late back from work tonight, then I had a problem with Skype, then I was trying to sort something else out, which is why I'm still in my suit, and I just had to give up. I can't waste time when we're live. So we've gone to Snapchat for tonight, but we will be back for Skype. We do Skype at... on a Monday and Thursday normally, but I'll fit another one in, that's not a problem. But please do drop a like, get involved, subscribe if you're new. It's all about you. And Ross Miller. Will United sign me? Not likely, Ross. Ranuk Dash.
Hey Mark, I would just like to know your thoughts on Adrien Rabiot from PSG, central defensive midfielder, played quite well in the Champions League. Hey Mark, I would...
PSG, Rabiot, isn't it? That's how I pronounce it. He's centre defensive midfielder for PSG. He's a good player. We mentioned him a few months ago, but I've got to be honest, I don't want to start expanding it out to people like Rabiot and Keita and stuff like that. I think for me, I'm going to stick to what Di Marzio said, and I'm quite happy with those 3 anyway. Nainggolan, Fabinho, and Matuidi would be my 3. I hope we can get one of those 3 is what I would like, if I'm honest with you. Kishan Manbla. Just a picture of me. I like it. Jack.
Hey Mark, what's your opinion on Perotti coming to Manchester United along with Fabinho and Perisic? Hey Mark, what's your opinion?
Belotti, Fabinho, Perisic. I think Perisic looks like there might be a bit of a fight for Perisic now if you've joined us late, because PSG are in for him according to Di Marzio. Fabinho, I like to think it's going to happen, but we'll have to wait and see. Belotti, I like Belotti, but I probably will be Morata or Belotti, and it looks like it'll be Morata, so we might have to wait on that. Frederick.
Hi Mark, what do you think about Joshua King, love from Norway?
What do I think about Joshua King, love from Norway? Doesn't Joshua King play for Norway? Currently at Bournemouth. I had him in my fantasy football team. He gets a lot of points. But I'll be honest with you. I think it's a bit like Jermaine Defoe and other people like Sigurdsson at Swansea. I think they're good Premier League players, doing very well for their clubs, but they're not top 4 players, if I'm honest. So, yeah. Mark unleashing his inner Alan, says Matt Lee. I know what you mean. Kieran Smith.
Mark, if you was going to buy like any football player now, who would it be? For me, it'd be either Griezmann, Mbappe and Lottin, or maybe like a Nainggolan, because he's been outstanding.
I thought Kieran was going to start having a really tell me off then. That's why I was like, what? But what player would I sign if I was Manchester United manager now? And obviously you mentioned Griezmann and Nainggolan as well. If I could sign anybody for United, I honestly would. Fabinho would be on there. I really do think that he is the perfect centre defensive midfielder that we need. And I think sometimes, if you're having a game of FIFA, Football Manager, or you're just thinking it through at work who you'd sign for United, it's natural that you go for the Galactico and think, I'd love to buy Ronaldo or Messi or whatever like that. But I think also, and you get a lot of depth with Manchester United fans, it's important to think, well, what's important for the team? And I think a centre-back and a centre defensive midfielder are very important for us. I'm not going to mention a centre-back now because it would be disrespectful to Lindelof, and I'm happy with that signing. Fabinho would be my centre defensive midfielder. I would sign Ronaldo. Galacticos, I know what I just said, but I would sign Ronaldo because Zlatan got 28 goals last season. He probably should have got 40. It's a very important position to play for United next season. And I know Ronaldo would come in and score 40 goals. And he's good in the air, and he's strong, and he can run the channels, and he's quicker than Zlatan. So I would get Ronaldo because he's guaranteed the number 9 position that he's going to get you a load of goals. And would I go and get a number 10? I'd probably get James Rodriguez because he's bloody brilliant with Ronaldo. But we do need a wide player. And my choice of wide player, to be honest with you, you can't go wrong. I'm quite happy with the Perisic signing if we make it, or the Douglas Costa, or the Willian, because they're hard working, and I think that's what we need. You've got, Valencia's almost like our right winger anyway because he's hard working. But Orison says, Mark, what do you think about Maradona? Thanks for the contribution. I think he's a bit old to play for us now. I bloody hated him. I was a young lad in '86 when he did that, and I was a very young lad actually. But I vaguely remember us getting knocked out in '86 by him. And I remember my granddad, rest in peace, who was just absolutely appalled that somebody could cheat like that. But he was a fantastic player. I remember him more in '94 when he got kicked out for the drugs. I was just started secondary school then. And he was a fantastic player. And in 90, didn't have such a good tournament. But the football was very different then. I mean, I know how good Messi is. I know how good Ronaldo is. I know how good people like Neymar are. And even your lower level, Lewandowski is the next stage down. We get to see these players. We're so spoiled. But when I was growing up, and this is what people forget, is like, as a United fan, well, let me bring it back to United because that's relevant. But let me answer that question first. In relation to Maradona, the only time you got to really see Maradona was in the World Cup because you obviously didn't play in the European Championships, and football wasn't on the telly in the late 80s. It wasn't really on the telly. Internationals were, but it wasn't really on the telly. I mean, I remember seeing Mancini and Vialli play for Italy in what must have been the late 80s and maybe 90, something like that. I'm sure they came to Wembley and it was 2-0. And it was the first time I'd really seen them, and I was really excited about it. But you didn't get to see them; they weren't on the telly. And it's the same with United. I didn't really get to see United that often because they were on the telly on a Sunday afternoon, maybe once every few weeks. But that was pretty much it, unless it was the FA Cup or highlights on Sports Night on a Wednesday night. But you didn't have Sky, so you didn't really get to see a lot of these players. It's wall-to-wall football now. It's fantastic to grow, to have it. I love it, but we didn't really get it much when I was growing up. So, people often say, well, what was it like to watch Maradona and people like that? And the reality is I probably only saw him about 6 times because that's all you got to see. How old am I? I'm in my 30s. David Brent, 30s. I was watching that last night. I'm in my 30s. That's all that matters. I'm still in my 30s. Bailey's Mark. Josh, Gray in it.
Do you reckon Fellaini will leave this summer?
Good question, Josh. Do I think Fellaini will stay this summer? United Stand MUFC, all one word, is the Snapchat. Do I think Fellaini will stay this summer? I think he will. I do think he will. And Matthew Neal, I want to answer your comments as well. I do think he'll stay. I'm not bothered whether he stays. I've always been quite passionate about getting rid of Fellaini, but I think there's more important players that need to go, and I don't think we'll sell more than 4 players. So I think Rooney's got to go. Zlatan's gone already, so that's 2. Januzaj's got to go. James Wilson's got to go. Varella's got to go, and one of the centre-backs has got to go. So that's quite a few already. I don't think Fellaini will be a high priority player to get rid of. But maybe Mourinho will have the summer that we thought he'd have last year, where he gets rid of a lot of deadwood and brings a few more players in. He's had a year to assess it, and I don't think he'll want the same year as last year, where he was let down a lot. So, but I don't think he will. I think he'll stay. Would I get rid of him? Yes, I would. I think the Fellaini, all Fellaini offers you is hard work and good under a long ball, and that's not really what United are about for me. Matthew Neal says, Mark, what's your thoughts on Hakan Calhanoglu? Could he fit into Jose's revolution? He's young, quick, play left, right and centre mid. Not to mention he's got a free kick, maybe number 7 worthy. Thoughts? Turkish player, very good at free kicks. I thought he got into trouble. Didn't he get into trouble a few months ago? Drugs or something like that. Something happened with him. We're definitely not linked to him, but he has got a fantastic free kick on him. Altec00 says Fabinho is a much better upgrade than Fellaini. I can't believe people are thinking or linking Fellaini to Fabinho. They're worlds apart. Pogboom says, I love the World Cup. 1990 was the best World Cup I've ever seen. I know it's probably because I was young and Pavarotti and that. And a lot of people say it was a boring tournament, but I absolutely loved it. Is Morata and Fabinho deal done? Says Taboro Araka. Not as far as I know. Is Belotti better than Morata? Says Rafal Hassan. It's debatable. It's a good debate. Mark, we do not need Galacticos, says Steve Lebo. This summer, we need committed grafters to plug our weaknesses and add depth. Very good point. Very, very good point. Mark, Mandzukic is tenacious. I think he's an absolute donkey. I know he scored a good goal in the final, but I thought him playing on the left was just a donkey, to be honest, in that final. Max Chicken says, you are looking smart. Yep, just got him from work, rushing around. Mark, how much did you score on Fantasy Premier League? I'm normally very good. I gave up this year. We need more legends, says Don Trey. You get legends when you start playing well, and we've not been that great for the last few years. And 2002 was the worst World Cup in Japan, says Yash Fora. I actually did enjoy that World Cup. We should have bloody won it. We should have won it. We should have won that. 10-man Brazil in the quarterfinals. Just had a bottler as a manager. We had a good team, a very good team. He just had a bottler as a manager. Sean Maloney to Manchester United. And Sean One says that Calhanoglu's dad signed a contract for him to play at a club and he didn't go. That was probably what happened. And Komatati Laurent Vincent says, thoughts on Michael Antonio? He's a good player. Again, I just don't think he's quite a top 4 player, if that makes sense. And we've got Valencia who plays that position as well. As a backup to Valencia, he's not bad. We'll do a Fantasy Premier League next season. Yeah, we do one every year. I need to commit more to it, that's all. Mark, any thoughts on City signing Lozano? That is gutting for me because I've been going on about Lozano for 2 years on this channel. Mexican winger, very, very good player, and looks like he's going to City. It's just bloody typical. But, I mean, it's not bad enough to get really upset about. It's just disappointing because I think he's a good player and I'd love us to have a Mexican and he's going to be a superstar. But Mourinho doesn't want him. So, what can you do? You can't get moody about players you sign for United that the manager doesn't want. It's one of them things, isn't it? Really. But I do like him. Been on about him for 2 years, as people will know, but he's off to Pep's done it again. Signed a player that I'd quite like. The Gibbonator. Oh no, I've missed him. Click somebody else. Let's try that.
What shirt number would you give Javier Hernandez?
What shirt number would you give Javier Hernandez? None at the moment because he hasn't signed, but if we did sign him, can we give him 14? Daniel, Bobby Singh.
Mark, what is the greatest match you've ever seen in your life? Mine is Uruguay versus Ghana. World Cup, was it?
That was when Suarez cheated, wasn't it? And cleared it off the line. The greatest game I've ever seen in my life from a Manchester United fan point of view, I'll never top the emotion of 99. Never top it. Don't really remember much about the game, but I'll never top those last couple of minutes. It's just, you can't do it. The best footballing game I've ever seen, God, it's difficult, isn't it? Because do you want the complete performance where you absolutely batter somebody, or do you want the close game? I think again one of the best 45 minutes I've seen was Spurs United. I can't remember the year. We were 3-0 down at half time. Veron was playing, and we won 5-3 in the second half. And it was absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing performance. And yeah, that was good. But there's so many, and most of them would be Manchester United, obviously. But yeah, 99, just for pure emotion. Just for pure emotion. Oh God, T-Dog's on about Cavani is the best fit. I would hate to sign Cavani. I don't like Cavani at all. Jordi Alba from Barca, says Dale Roberts. I'm not sure he's strong enough, to be honest, for the Premier League. We've had quite a few dislikes, said somebody. Not bothered. Not bothered. And we've had a contribution here from Ali again. He says Pulisic is a good option for United, especially with Tuchel now gone. Marketing, marriage, made in heaven, United States, and he's a good player. Yeah, Ali, I agree with you. And we've spoke about Christian Pulisic a lot. I really do like him, and I agree with you. Not just from a marketing point of view, but just because from a United stand point of view and a Manchester United fan point of view, there's a lot of Americans who will be watching now, who will watch later, who are passionate about the Premier League, but more importantly, they're passionate about Manchester United. And if we got Pulisic at United, it would expand the interest in America and the Manchester United support. Will United be that shrewd? I hope they are, because he's going to go somewhere, and I don't want him to go to Chelsea or Manchester City, so they can... This is the sort of signing United should make. One, because he's a very good player, and two, we need to be ahead of the game, because Man City will look at Pulisic over the next 2 years and go... That's how, because Man City are desperate as a marketing brand to close the gap on Manchester United. Now they can win trophies and whatever, and that will sort of close the gap in relation to honours. But the fan base, it will take them a long time to do it. But clever little moves like that into the American market will help them. Now Pulisic is a good player. He's young. I think he's still only 18, isn't he? I'd say he's a year off being ready for the Premier League, but we should be all over that. We should be all over that. Whether we will be or not, I don't know. But as a player, very skillful, can play both sides, wing, can play number 10, fast. I'd love him at United, I really would. Rannock Dash made a contribution. I think we're ignoring the fact that we need a backup left back and striker. Been quiet on Mendy for a while. Well, Mendy at Monaco is, as I've said a few weeks ago, wouldn't surprise me if we signed him. I'm not convinced that we will now. Because of other clubs being interested in him and the price will go up. But he's basically Valencia at left back, and if he can, that's the sort of left back we want, isn't it? We want Valencia at left back. So not the real Valencia, we want the real Valencia at right back, but a Valencia clone at left back would be perfect. So Mendy would be good, but my loyalty is still to Luke Shaw. I just hope he can get the form back, and I hope the injury doesn't let him down. But we shall see. We shall see. Right, let's have a quick look here. Have you actually enjoyed the show tonight? I don't normally talk to you in this way, I know, but apologies. But have you actually enjoyed the show tonight? Because I don't. It's hard for me to judge it sometimes, and I know I'm disappointed with what happened with Skype, and I don't like to let you all down. I want it to go the way it should go, and I want it to be Skype so you can have your say. And I know we've sort of tried to repair it with the super chat, and I hope that's the good thing about super chat is you can get a lot of people on, but I want it to be Skype, so I am disappointed and I do apologise. And sometimes we do a lot of live content on the United Stand, and we've been doing it for a long time, and there's great aspects to it, like the live comments are always up and we've got the interaction, etc. But things will go wrong sometimes. You'll get lag sometimes, but that has annoyed me tonight. So as you will see if you go back to that bit, I was getting very frustrated. But that frustration is born upon the fact that I like Skype. I like the Skype show. I want to get your opinions on it, so we'll try and do it tomorrow. So I apologise for that, but I hope we've rescued the show for you a little bit, and I hope you've enjoyed it. I just want to make sure that I haven't missed any super chats. Silver Samurai, thank you. He says AC Milan is doing great business this season, and they just signed Silva, the Portuguese striker. They are. Kessie, a couple of other lads as well. They are not messing about. But AC Milan have got a lot of money to spend. I think Inter Milan will start firing off after the end of the month when their financial fair play thing's done as well. They've got a lot of money to spend. It's quite exciting. I do like Serie A, and going back to what I was saying a few minutes ago, I used to watch a lot of Italian football in the early 90s when it started on Channel 4, and that sort of, I fell in love with that because Gazza went there, and then David Platt was there, and a couple of others. And I like Italian football, but it's had a bit of a bad period, but it's got the potential to be one of the best leagues in the world again, and it's nice because at the moment it really is just the La Liga and the Premier League. German leagues, it's good standard at Bayern Munich, but it's a one-horse race. French league again isn't great, so it'd be nice. There's a lot of decent teams in Italy, and it'd be nice if they can get 4 or 5 teams again that are competing, because always traditionally it would be Juventus, Inter, AC Milan, Sampdoria, maybe, and then you've got Lazio's and Roma's sort of having a go. So it'd be good if the Serie A can get competitive again. What it will mean is that the transfer market will get very competitive, because there's not always a massive amount of fantastic players, but it makes it interesting. That's great. Okay. Remember, if you are new to the United Stand, to subscribe to the channel, bottom right hand corner, and get involved. And make sure when you do subscribe that you click the bell button so you get notified every time we go live. 7 a.m. every morning we have got the Transfer Daily show for you, which is obviously very, very informative. And then 8:30 every night we're always live with a show for you. Orison's made a contribution. Thanks, Pal. He says things will go wrong when you're live, but that's what I like about the show. It's passionate and it's not scripted. Yeah, but we'll never script. That's not the way it should go. Mr. Accolade says, any news on the wand, Mark? The wand is James Rodriguez, for anyone who doesn't know that. And Avatar says Belotti is far better than Morata. Okay, thanks everybody. What I did forget to say is we do go live if anything else happens, and there could be signings in the day tomorrow. There might be something happening later on at 11 o'clock tonight. Sometimes there is in the week. And what I would say is we will always react to that as well. But your steady, consistent will be 7 a.m. every day for the Transfer Daily and 8:30 for the live show. But thank you. Ali says it's been a good show, Mark. First time ever contributing online to anything, and it's because the show has been good. Well, thanks for the contribution, Ali. And what I must remind everybody is obviously you can contribute to the United Stand on the bottom through the super chat option. If you choose to do that, fantastic. Obviously we put it towards like shirt giveaways and stuff like that. We gave away 2 of the black away shirts a couple of weeks ago. We will be giving away 3 of the red home shirts as soon as they come out. But also, we are giving away 25% of each month's Super Chat contributions to charity. This month, it will be to the Macmillan Cancer charity because, unfortunately, one of my friends died just before Christmas at 41, I think he was. And my gran died just before Christmas as well, both of cancer. And Drawty has been affected by it as well. So we wanted to pick that out. But we will be putting it to you lot as to what charities you want to do. So we'll change it every month. I think it's unfair to just keep giving it to the same one, but we will change it every month. So that's that. And I think we've covered everything. Lots going on. Morata deal moves closer. Fabinho hopefully as well. Perisic challenge from PSG. They want him. Belotti I don't think we'll get if we get Morata. And Lindelof will probably be revealed on Wednesday or Thursday officially. But lots going on. Thanks for everybody tonight. Absolutely fantastic. Thanks for everybody who's liked the video. Over 3,000 of you watching again, which is great. I'm glad that it's becoming part of your routine in the summer months because it's great to talk about United with so many passionate fans who are interested in what's going on with the club. So thanks everybody. I'll speak to you tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of your evening and I'll be back at 7 a.m. tomorrow with you unless something happens later on tonight. Speak to you all soon. And again, massive apologies about Skype. I will make sure tomorrow night that it is up and running properly and we'll just knock it back a night. And finally, I opened the show with the OneFootball app. Make sure you download it. Link in the video description. It's free to download. Gives you all your latest Manchester United news. You'll get notifications of it. It's very good. 9 times out of 10 it's relevant stuff, and also you can research your players and their stats on there as well. I'm using it a lot at the moment, but the notifications are good, and researching players is very good as well if you want your stats to hand. That link is in the video description. Thanks everybody. I shall speak to you later.